So we're 20 degrees. We were down to 12 last night. Guineas are all on the side of the goat shed there where the sun is to try to not be on the snow. This has all turned now to ice, as you hear. I'm low on water up there. I did not move it in the dark last night. I'm gonna move water right now, which entails 5-gallon buckets, which this basket is made to hold. It will hold 5-gallon buckets. This here also will hold 5-gallon buckets in this step. Typically, I take 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets of water up at a time. I don't use 15 gallons of water. I'll take a trip up and use less than I take up, so I'm always at a positive gain. This has happened a couple of times, and we move water for a couple of days, and then that's it. One of the tiny houses has froze up. The water lines partly were exposed, and we've got some cracking on the tiny house, so there's no water there, but won't affect anything else. Not a big deal. We're at half capacity today. Again, a lot of our ladies that work here live and drive over 45 minutes away. A lot of the stuff in the other counties is very rural. The city or the county will typically, plow and ice that road. But if you're on one of the back roads, you might have snow and ice for 2-3 weeks sometimes. 40 degrees during the day tomorrow. We already, with the sun out, we're seeing snow melt on the sides. As you've seen in some other videos, the snow blowers will blow the snow right off of these vehicles as they sit right now. My thought was that when it heats up though and melts this, and then it freezes again tonight, it'll be a sheet of ice and we will not be able to get it off as easily. So taking care of it right now before it becomes a problem. I'm wearing considerably less clothing today just to see what I could get away with. I was a little warm yesterday, and I'm not gonna be riding the four-wheeler as much. I have one of my layered tops under here. If you guys buy shirts and stuff, I prefer a quarter zip for my underlayer, if not, a full zip jacket type zipper. I don't know, how do you guys do it? I'm sure you guys have some tips and tricks. Like, I love these gloves, super great for on the four-wheeler, but no finite movement at all. Maybe a pair of flight gloves under these would be perfect. Then just take it out of the glove when you need to manipulate something with more dexterity. I don't know. Throw some comments in there. I definitely learned from you guys, so on with it. Should have closed that, but I left it open for the cat to get in. Most dangerous part of my day right here. If there's ice anywhere here, carrying those buckets. Now I have to find some buckets. System's still bubbling, system is not running. Heads of cabbage be fine. We need to pull those probably sooner than later. We might be too late on them. This is overflowed. It continued to pump, but it wouldn't pump through here, so it was froze up in here and then overflowed this. Not a problem. We've seen similar happen. The only crack we had last year was one of these joints here. I think I'll put a stock tank heater in the top. Let the fish warm back up. The fish last year, we had the whole system off. We had assumed the fish had died, and the fish actually made it. We actually bought new fish and then found that we actually had our old fish also. Now this seems to be frozen all the way. I don't know how far down. We'll start chipping at it. That's probably a whole another video in itself. Dr. Garrett's Earth Juice, it doesn't freeze somehow. Buckets. These outhouses, we just have them for in case or for events or for you're outside and don't want to go inside. To go to the bathroom. I keep stuff in these. There are no buckets in here. Snow did make it through these cracks though. Where are the buckets? Jump back on the four-wheeler. Because it's a four-wheeler, why would you not want to ride it? Remember when you were a kid and you wanted to ride everything? You wanted to drive a tractor, you wanted to ride a four-wheeler, ride a bicycle. Was it because you were lazy or because you just wanted to ride it? I just liked riding things and driving things. There's Boy Cat in the sun. Man, it's nice and warm over here. Will you let us pet? Can we have pets? Yeah, you like that, don't you? Oh, you're nice and warm. You would make a nice pair of mittens. Buckets. I'll just get some of the brand new ones out from inside. You guys want to see in the row house? This greenhouse, they typically come with 5-foot spacing on these poles, and we ordered extra poles to set it up at 4 feet. You have a typical round house, and then you have Gothic arch, which comes up in this point. And these are what they recommend for higher snow load, heavy snow load. With the possibility of solar patterns changing and stuff, if you look at Maunder minimum and grand solar minimum, stuff like that, I just thought, why not? Let's get the first one we do. Let's just get the one that will last through everything. They say that cold water will stay unfrozen longer than warm water. I've not tested that, but I'm pretty sure I saw the Mythbusters also do that. Pretty pleased with these boots. I definitely think I'm going to buy another pair or two that are not orange. You know how you do things for years and years and years and they work, and then all of a sudden you change something and you're like, that would have saved 2 weeks of my life if I'd have done it this other way. That's this water trough here. For the longest time, we just hauled water up here like this, like you see. And then last year, year before, we put this trough out here with the heater, and it worked really well. I feel like I am losing a lot of water from the steam that it makes. Next year, we'll change out and put an even bigger trough. This roof here, this is an old tarp, and it's heavy with snow. Had we not had this bar up here across here, it would have we would have lost this one. And that's the tartar dog runs that we've used for years. These are the chicken coop versions. It's not tartar, but it's built similar. The metal's nowhere near as good. You can see from the weight here how it pushed this even forward, but it has a metal frame that supports, so the tarps last longer. That water is frozen up over the night, but just with a little bit of sun that it's catching, it's already starting to defrost there. If you enjoying the sun? That corn, it's not good for you, buddy. You have real meat. Yuck, yuck, yuck. But Dad, these are hen gear nest boxes. They're absolutely amazing. If we cut right there, we could put the egg box to the outside, but I kind of want to be able to come inside anyways. I don't mind coming inside. I feel like it just gives it a little more weather, rain protection. Not that eggs need weather protection. They also have this timer, which works kind of. If I set it for 5 a.m., it will make a noise, and this will, in theory, slam. They never really work. You got to keep them really clean or put a higher spring rate on them, but it'll slam, and the birds know the nest box is open and available. But you have to come out every night and pull this down, otherwise it doesn't work in the morning. Here you can see their water froze over. There's water to be had already, just from a little bit of sunlight. We had a female give a litter of bunnies, and she did them on the wire, so they were froze. And that's what's over here. Those chickens are actually eating baby bunnies. They're ripping them apart, and they will consume the whole thing. Really, we are lucky as chicken keepers that our chickens do not get the size of an ostrich, because they are super aggressive, and they would do that to us if they could. I don't know what kind of birds these are, but they're sure going to be pretty. Maybe lacewing Orpingtons, I'm not sure. I don't know my chickens. They're pretty birds right now for sure. I think I'm going to try to make a run to Tractor Supply and get like a hay fork, you know, to just kind of get all that straw and feed and poop out of there, start busting it out a little at a time so I don't have to do it all at once. It will go great in the compost bin here. Our compost is obviously not cooking properly, otherwise this snow would not be sitting on top of it. It would be like those wood chips out there with steam just piling off of it, and there's not. I probably need to turn it and add some material into it. Buddy, you have the life. There's only 2 roosters in here, and they go between the coops as they want to. They can fly right over and get in there, and they run through all these girls, and they eat whatever they want to eat, and nothing tries to eat them. Every now and then I try to run one over. Physically actually try to kill it because I don't want those roosters, but it's in their DNA not to be run over with 4-wheelers. I've yet to be able to run one over, and I've actually tried to. See this bird sitting right here on ice? I don't know if she just can't figure out how to get inside, or that's just where she's chosen to sit. Maybe she doesn't want to walk on the snow. We've given them plenty of perches across here, and they can walk back and forth and get up as high as they want out of the weather there. The dogs back in the snow. It baffles me when people are all over Facebook groups and stuff talking about how terrible it is people have their dogs outside. Yeah, some dogs, I get it, but people get involved in things that are, well, they're none of their damn business. On top of that, they just don't know what they're talking about. It's like right here, right? Straw, dog loo over there. Looks like little baby Jesus's manger. It's full of straw. Little infant swaddled in the manger. Those dogs, where are they? Out here. And if you were out here 2 hours earlier, they had icicles growing on them. I just walked over here and this cage had no straw in it. And I know I put straw in it twice, and I think they're eating it. So I put more straw in here to give them bedding, and they're eating it. And they have full food. One of the changes I will make is to bring that water in here so I don't have to keep walking to it, especially with more rabbits. We've been breeding them and just, you know, giving them away and using them for dog food or whatever. We don't eat a lot of rabbit. I just kind of consider it meat on the hoof. We keep it alive, we breed it, we produce it, make better lines, and then we have them if we ever need to scale. You put a female rabbit in a male's cage, and in seconds he typically jumps on her. 30 days later, you have babies, and 6 weeks later, you have meat. You could totally produce all your meat in that manner with a few rabbits to start with. Just dawned on me, this is the first winter we've gone through with this rabbit structure here, and it's made way taller. It's, I think we're 16 feet tall on the verticals on this side. We made it taller on purpose with a huge pitch so that it would shed ice and snow. So if we did get heavy snow and ice, it would shed rather than collapse was the thought. As you see, it has not shed. So if we did have more and more and more, maybe it wouldn't have been a benefit, but I think that it is. So even if it didn't shed snow or ice, we have height. So we can put a little loft across here, which would get the extra caging and stuff out of there and give us more footprint downstairs here to put more caging. I know somebody's gonna say something, man, you're not supposed to have that many rabbits in a cage. These are grow outs. They're not here to breed. We have a heavy load of rabbits. We were about to kill a bunch of rabbits right when the tornado happened, and we have held on and continued to feed these rabbits. It's taken about 3 bags of feed a week instead of 1 because of the amount of rabbits we have right now. But we're just continuing to feed and maintain them to take them up to Kentucky. There's some homestead rescue stuff going on up there, and those guys lost all their rabbits and chickens. So we are taking most of these rabbits to replenish those people's stock so they can continue to breed. Just off the rabbits we have here, they could do several counties worth of rabbits for the rest of their life just off of the rabbits that we're giving them. With, you know, if everybody had 2 females and 1 male, within a year they could have 100,000 rabbits. It's actually a higher number than that. That's the deal. There's some differences, right? What would I change? I would get plastic scoops instead of metal to use in the middle of the night when it's cold. Rubber bowls, which we've already done. I would tarp the sides or put wood slats or plywood across this, not to hold heat, but just to keep wind-blown snow out. You heating your rabbits and putting them inside and stuff, that's for you. Your rabbits, they don't need that shit. The rabbits will change, their fur will thicken up, they will get through your colds better. They will live where you won't live. That's the deal. It's just like the fresh water, right? Your animals always need water, and I give them clean water, but you got to keep in mind, these dogs, they lick each other's assholes. They eat poop. You don't see any chicken shit on this snow here, do you? No guinea poop? Because those dogs ate it. So you giving them pristine, aerated, running, sparkling Perrier water, that's for you to look good in front of your friends or to make you feel good. Your dogs are still eating poop. They're eating poop. So give them water that they can access. Make sure they have, you know, available water. In the winter, water freezes. Make sure they have access to water. All that other stuff, that's for you. Heated rabbit cages and all that shit. But I have too many animals here to run heated cages with the electricity that's available out here. So what do? Well, you enclose your building and you heat your building, and then you have another bill. So for me, I don't mind coming out here. It puts me out here. I see what's up with the animals, and it gets me out of the building for a few minutes. I can do all these animals in 17 minutes on the best day. Right now, the way it is, it takes about an hour. Do I want to spend an hour of my time up here, or do I want to try to enclose this thing, which would cost probably about 5,000 bucks right now to enclose it? That's without insulation. If we insulate it, it costs even more, and then we have to heat it in some manner. So you got to buy a heater. You have to pay a fuel source. The rabbits don't give a shit. It's just for you. So we'll do it how Grandpa did it. We'll do it how great Grandpa and all the generations before electricity did it. How many eggs do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That one cracked. The membrane in there might be okay, but if it froze enough to crack, that's a dead egg. So my suspicion is all the others are also dead. I don't know where Mama Duck is at this point. I don't see her anywhere. I don't know where she's hiding out. Haven't seen her. I was going to try to turn this on. We're at 20-degree weather. Nope, that valve is frozen. We are not going to turn that on. Now those are supposed to not freeze because there's not supposed to be water in them. I might be able to muscle it on. You want to see what the final lunch looks like? It's so good. I forgot to turn the camera on. Now I'm going to take a nap for the next 20 minutes. Can you come here a minute? Can you rub this on your soft face?
No.
But inevitably, if you have straw, you're going to have splinters. Until they settle just right, you don't normally even realize it. Apple bottom jeans with the fur. The whole club is looking at her. Guess where I'm going? I bet you can't guess. For you very few people who guess Tractor Supply, that's where I'm going. There's mountain bike trails out here and kayaking and fishing, and it's really an outdoorsman's paradise. If you move to Tennessee and you say you like to hunt and fish, you can literally hunt and fish legally. You can legally hunt and fish something every day of the week in Tennessee. It's always, I can't do this because I don't have this equipment and I'm collecting this equipment. There's more equipment collectors than equipment users, but you know, 100 years ago they didn't have any of that equipment. How were guys catching fish? Hana Sushi Hibachi Poke Bowl. What are you doing?
Sending out a text message?
The text message for the new bifold minimalist wallets. Apparently, your drone in sport mode will go in the water because it just went in the water. I'm pretty sure it went all the way under the water. Luckily, I was able to power it back up and I was able to fly it to me. I'm gonna pull the battery out to kind of let it dry. I'll bet it's still good. My hands are freezing. With this Katanica hoodie, the rest of my body's warm. Well, this part of my body.
I'm pretty impressed with the Katanica hoodie, honestly.
Which part? The blah, blah, blah?
Yes, the blah part.
My whole goatee was frozen yesterday. They do in fact look closed.
The crazy thing is, when I ordered that fabric that we need, it didn't say, hey, by the way, we're gonna close early.
Drive past, see if there's a note on the door or something.
Only sign I see is, put your mask on.
Which we've never done.
How much you want to bet Home Depot's closed?
I bet Home Depot's not closed. Lowe's, Starbucks, all those stores, every fucking time they're closed, Home Depot is the one that's open. If everything around me was closed on a Sunday, I'd be the store that was open. Look.
Nope, Home Depot's open, you're right.
Of course Home Depot's open. Because they're not a bunch of fucking pussies.
I put glue on my hands and let it dry and then peeled it off.
Did you eat glue?
I ate paste.
I'm gonna have to buy some hammers. Pow. I'll take that. This is that super deep one. Oh. You're looking at me. This is that super deep one. I just have to buy a new tool.
don't know. It looks like it would carve a mean pumpkin.